Hello, party people. What? What is this about chatting not being supported? I don't know which chat is the best. I'm just gonna put two. We're putting two chats on screen. I look like a mess, but I look like a mess all the time. Okay. I don't even know if my stuff's working. I don't know what that notification was. I have no way to check right now. My tablet and all my recording stuff is at the house. And I'm at the cafe. But I thought maybe I'd come on here, just do a little stream. I found this. Sorry. I'll come on here, do a little stream. Just before I leave. To go home probably. Just maybe talking about like my 4th of July today. I don't know. I'm gonna try to stream more because I want to stream more often. I know it's like past midnight. It's probably the worst time to stream. But trying to be good here. I don't know. At least get into the groove of streaming more. You know, I did something interesting. I didn't stream it because it was a family. I'm not gonna be going around with family just, oh, look at this, you know? But at least I'm coming on here talking about it after. I don't know if that's interesting to anyone, you know? But yeah, so I'm gonna talk about my 4th of July. But first, I was looking for a carabiner, or whatever it's called, the thing that you use to clip stuff onto stuff, in the back of the cafe, because I knew that my grandfather must have one somewhere around in here. I'm gonna ask him if I can use it, like take it, but I'm using it right now. And I was looking inside this like locker that we have in the back. I could actually show it to you in just a second. I don't want to move my phone because my phone's already set up. It's not on like a tripod stand. It's not on like a selfie stick. It's on a mic stand and it's balancing there. So if I move my phone, it's just gonna take forever to set up. It's gonna be annoying. But in the locker that we have in the back of the cafe, it's just one single locker. It's not like we have a whole locker system back there. There's like 3 people who work here at a time. Not, pretty much 2. I basically run the cafe at this point. Besides like handling the people who play music and what else? I don't know. I should really put like something that tells me how many people are viewing on Prism. That would be useful. But whatever. Yeah, I was looking in that locker. I take forever to tell stories, don't I? I was looking in the locker for like a carabiner, and instead I found I can't say that word, a fidget spinner. So that's cool. And the thing about that locker is that like no one touches the locker, right? There are items in there. There's like erasers from the early 2000s that no one has touched since then. There are pens in there that are like from the early 2000s. They have like tribal tattoos on them or something. Tribal tattoo designs. There's like a magnet on the inner door that says, no, it's not what it says. It's like a very 2000s like vinyl figure kind of thing. I don't know. I don't like streaming in public. At least not I like streaming in public when it comes to like having someone to react to and not being around people that possibly know me. You know, because I'm in my hometown right now. Like, people, I'm in a storefront, I'm in the cafe. So people walking by can just look into this giant glass window and probably see me sitting here talking to a camera like some weirdo. You know, I mean, maybe I think about things too much. I don't think people really care, but it's just the idea that it can come back to me in some way. Like everything I'm doing right now, I'm not doing anything wrong. It's just embarrassing to tell my mom, like, yeah, I've been streaming lately. Because I know my mom will make fun of me. Or at least that's how I have it in my mind. Because when I was younger, she would make fun of me and yell at me. And now she has less control over me, and I just have to tell myself she has less control over me. And this like idea that everything I do I'm gonna end up getting in trouble for is this like delusion. But it's not entirely delusional because that is how I've been treated a lot. But I'm not gonna start dissing my mommy on a stream. I'm gonna drink my concoction. It is ginger ale and a little bit of vanilla flavoring syrup. I think it tastes pretty decent. It's interesting, I don't know. I was kind of like high out of my mind when I figured that one out. Yeah, I don't know. My hair is really frizzy because I still haven't even talked about 4th of July. My hair is frizzy because I've been out all day sweating and in the humidity and the heat. And I haven't once said anything about 4th of July. I just said, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about it. Literally the title of this stream is 4th of July Winding Down or something like that. At least on Kick. I haven't named it on BoobTube. And I will talk about it, right? What happened to my magnets? I got some snake eggs. I forgot what they're actually called. But I bought like snake egg magnets a long time ago. And lately, since I found them again, I've been messing around with them. These things. I just like how they sound. Okay. Yeah. I have not been much of a fidgeter in my life. You know, I have a fidget toy right here, whatever this thing is called, fidget spinner. And I have these, but it's not like I was like, I need a poppet. Is that what they're called? I think that's like a thing people take to make them feel funny. But I meant whatever they're called, the things, the boards with all the pushing little poppy things. I found one on the floor and I messed around with it for a bit and it did intrigue me. But I don't think that like these things are gonna help me focus. You know, I especially don't think they're gonna help other people around me focus if I'm just going like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Or especially not this one. You imagine just hearing, or you know, repeatedly in the back of the classroom. And they would always put me in the back of the classroom, even though I have the worst vision. I mean, I don't have the worst vision, but I don't have good vision. Anyways, I'm gonna talk about 4th of July finally. I guess it was better off that I waited a minute, almost 10 minutes, exactly 10 minutes right now. Just so that there's like actually people watching, but there probably isn't. I don't have any way to check right now. I will check when I get home probably, or after I end the stream, which I'm not gonna stay here long. I might play guitar for a little bit. But now, it is time to talk about 4th of July. I have gone on so many tangents because my mind just works that way. But I got up a little bit late in the day because I was working on an art project last night. I was working with clay. And when I work with a project at nighttime, well, the problem is that I get invested in things and then I end up working on them for hours at a time because I know I'm not going to work on them later, usually. I've been trying to change that. I've been trying to discipline myself where I actually do pick up the same art project another day and actually add more work to it. Especially because I want to make things that I'm proud of. And the whole point is the satisfaction that I get when I make something that I think looks good. And then there's also the disappointment with it, like not doing good online. But not everything is about online. You know, I go out, I ride my bike, I play, I have fun. I go to work and I enjoy my job. But yeah, I get invested in art projects and then I end up working on them all night. So I didn't go to sleep until 7 in the morning, I think. And I was gonna do crosswords to fall asleep. I was like, I'm already tired enough where I could just fall asleep. Because I play crosswords to fall asleep because I have trouble falling asleep. So if I do something that like annoys my brain, I guess, I don't know. No music, no video, nothing, just crosswords that helps me fall asleep. So I did not wake up until like 1 in the afternoon. Freaking low life scumbag. And then the dog went in the house like 2 times. She went pee and then she went poop. And that was disgusting. And I rushed to walk them after that. And what else happened? Oh, I pretty much just left the house right after I got up. Like within 2 hours. You know, I got up, I like scrolled on the internet for a little bit after walking the dogs. I downloaded some app called iNaturalist that lets you like search for like plants in your town, and I thought that was really cool and I was intrigued by it just to see like what people found, and also just animals and bugs. It's pretty cool. This isn't like an advertisement. I just am bored. No, this is an advertisement. Sorry, my mind was taken by a notification. This is not an advertisement. I just actually like this app. Ooh, the magnet does something to the rings? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know. What happened after that? iNaturalist. And then I texted my uncle and I was like, hey, when's the barbecue? Because my family was like, oh, you gotta text him and ask him. No one else would do it for some reason. So I texted my uncle, my good Uncle Stinky. That's what we call him, Uncle Stinky. And he said, come by anytime. So I pretty much after that just got on my bike and went out to the good old uncle's house. And when I got there, I was like, oh, it'd be cool if we could like blow up the boat and like go down in the water, because I have not been able to blow up my boat. I have like an inflatable boat. It only cost $150. I bought it off of Amazon My mom was mad at me for getting it at first because she's like, "Oh, you're not gonna be safe, this and that," as if I can't handle myself. She treats me like I can't handle myself. It's weird. But what happened? Oh yeah, I said I wanted to inflate the boat, and he was like, "Oh yeah, well, I have the key." And my cousin has been telling me for weeks, "Oh, I don't know where the key is. We couldn't find it, this and that." Turns out the whole entire time my uncle had it. They went down to the beach a few times. Like, I don't know if they're just lying to me for some reason and being weird. I don't know. But now, I can bring the boat out. I can blow up the boat and bring it out. I can't do it tonight because it's dark and I kind of need 2 people to do it. But next time my cousin is free and his girlfriend, my coworker, are free, then we can go out on the boat. I'm really bad at telling stories. Like, I'm supposed to be talking about 4th of July and I'm like, "Oh yeah, my cousin lied to me," or didn't say the full truth. I don't know. Excuse me. Anyways, I went over there. He was just finishing up like the hot dogs or something, or he just put them on the grill. Played with my cousins for a bit. My little cousins, the kids. I was trying to like look for something in there, I think. And the whole entire time, my younger cousin, she's about 7 years old now, she kept like trying to steal my attention to watch some show that she put on. I think it's called like K-pop Demon Hunter or something. And it looked very interesting, but I was trying to do something else, and I kind of wanted to like spend time with everyone else and not be stuck in front of a television. So I eventually made my way back out into the backyard, and we ate, and it was nice. I drank a lot. Well, at first I drank on an empty stomach, and I felt kind of queasy, I do say, but I people are passing by. I drank a bit. I felt a little queasy at first because like the drink was really strong. I drank a whole cup of it pretty fast on an empty stomach. But then I got my hot dogs and my burgers and my pulled pork down my throat, and it tasted damn good, I do say. And the queasiness eventually went away, and I drank 2 more cups, and I did not feel queasy like that again. It was some mixed drink. It was like really strong though. Then we went down to the beach. No, first we made s'mores. We made s'mores in the backyard because he started up a fire in the pit. And we... Excuse me. What happened? Yeah, we made s'mores and they were damn good. And my cousin kept lighting hers on fire. One of my cousins. And she would panic and not blow it out. And I mean, I just didn't want her to like, you know, leave the marshmallow on fire. Let it drip onto her. And then she gets like melted marshmallow all over and it hurts. So I was like, stop panicking, just blow it out. After we made s'mores, we went down to, well, we cleaned up, and my cousins were rushing us, like my little cousins, my younger ones, as if like we could just leave a big mess there and go. I don't know. They're silly. They're kids, I understand. But then we finally went to go see the fireworks. We went down to the beach. The beach that I was told we didn't have the key for, but we did. So I don't know. They lock all the beaches around me because they're supposed to be privately owned and they're annoying and stupid. So they let people rent out keys for them. Anyways, we went down to the beach. This guy who moved away from where I live for a while, for a few years, and then finally he came back earlier this year, and he was like, 4th of July, I'm gonna see you. I did see him on 4th of July, and he was drunk, and he was blasting, like, not Led Zeppelin, he was blasting some type of rock music. And he was like, oh, we're gonna jam, right? Where's the guitar? Because the last time that I saw him, we did jam, and he tried to, like, steal my aunt's guitar. And every time I tried to leave, he would just, like, kind of not let me leave. He's a cool guy, it's just that he's a bit overbearing, if that's the right word. He has a strong personality. The fireworks are pretty cool. Where I live, we live across from Manhattan, so I get to see all the fireworks across the shoreline. The city line, whatever. Cityscape. So, I think we saw the Macy's fireworks at one side, like over that way from where we were sitting. And then I don't know what the other ones were, but you know, there was a lot of fireworks. It was nice. Before I started the stream, there was still people shooting fireworks, and this is like past midnight. But I don't hear any anymore. I'm sure if I take the bike out and I ride around, I might see a few, like way out of the city. But I'm not doing IRL. I don't do IRL around my town. I don't do IRL in the town over, because somehow the word always ends up getting back to my mom. And not that I think anything like horrible is gonna happen, but it's just embarrassing, annoying for me to explain what I'm doing with myself 24/7. And I just would rather tell her, oh, I'm going out to hang out with friends, than telling her I'm going out to stream. Or I'm going to the cafe, and then I just end up streaming from the cafe. But yeah, and then after the fireworks, we went back up to the house. My cousin, he drank too much, and he was like, my older cousin drank too much, and he was just like slumped down on the couch with a bucket near him. It's like his first time drinking, I think. I mean, I don't know. My other cousin, his older brother, tells me that he lies a lot. Because he told me, like, oh, I drank a Four Loko. I drank 6 of those juice alcohol things. And he's like, no, he didn't. And with my own eyes, I will say, I only saw him drink the Four Loko, and he went to the other room to drink the Four Loko. I don't even know what he did with that, really. And he drank like this much of the juice, which is like not maybe a shot's worth, and it's not like so strong that a shot is gonna do enough. Maybe for him, because it's like his first time really drinking. I don't know. But he was slumped down on the couch, like, literally falling off of it. Yeah, he drank way too much. At least, I don't know, maybe he did drink 6 of the things. Or 7, he actually said. Um, excuse me. It tastes like hot dogs still. Then after that, I went out with his older brother, my other cousin, and his girlfriend, and we walked around for a little bit. We went down to the park, the school park, because they leave it open, I guess. Although one time we broke into it. We didn't, not us, but like other people broke into it. They cut the chain and they were blowing stuff up on it maybe like 2 years ago on 4th of July. And usually around here, people are like shooting fireworks across the street at each other, throwing eggs at cars. Like, it gets pretty rowdy around here on 4th of July, but I didn't see any of that this year. You know, that's why we go out after, like, the whole family is done hanging out for 4th of July. Not even the whole family. My grandparents and my aunts and my other aunt didn't come, but my other aunt was at work. My grandparents and the first aunt I mentioned were both on a boat. They ditched us to go on a boat, and they didn't even bring us. But we went around to the park to see what commotion was going on, and nothing was happening. They shot like maybe 1 or 2 fireworks, and then that was it this year. I mean, I'm sure more stuff happened earlier, but by the time that we got down there, nothing was happening. That was around 10:30. That wasn't like super late. Maybe 10 even. But my cousin that was drunk on the couch, his hooligan friends, his friends that I don't like because they go around ding-dong ditching doors around here and like doing stupid things, like really stupid things. Like, I heard a story from my aunt who said like, oh yeah, did you hear the story about how sorry, I didn't mean to dox my cousin. Did you hear the story about how your cousin your cousin said his friends were all like trying on the same I don't know if I can say condom, but they were trying on the same condom. I'm like, what? Right. Like, I've done stupid things in my life, but I have never tried on the same condom with multiple friends. Not even one friend. I've never even done anything relating to a condom and trying it on with anyone else. Besides myself, but that's a bit personal. So I really don't know what's up with that. I don't know if my cousin participated in that. I don't know why he's friends with people who do that. But I guess you could be stupid and still be friends with people who are... I guess you could still be friends with people who are stupid. Like, they're not my friends. They're definitely not my friends. But, if he wants to be friends with them, whatever. As long... I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's hurting people with them. And also, lately, he's kind of seemed to, like, not really hang out with them as much as he used to. I don't know if it's them not liking him or him not liking them. But I mean, when I saw them at the park today, they seemed to want to hang out with him. They were like, oh, to my other cousin, his older brother, one of his friends, the drunk cousin's friends, was like, hey, you should like get my boy out here. So but that's not happening because he is literally going to puke if he comes out here. And they just got like 2 or 3 cases of alcohol. These are kids. Like, they're no older than my sister. My sister is 17 right now. They're like probably 15. But they got like two big cases, like 12 or 26, whatever amount of some type of beer. Now, I know that it makes me sound like a stickler. It makes me sound like a party pooper. But I don't really like when kids are drinking. You know? I don't like when kids who aren't even old enough to vote. I don't know. You know, they're not 18. At least 18, I guess. But, like, my cousin and his friends are not 18. I don't necessarily like them drinking. I'm a party pooper. You know, I would never go up to somebody's door and ring their bell and run away. I would never do something that's going to get me in serious trouble, or other people in trouble, or just bother somebody for no reason. So when I see my cousin hanging out with people like that, it makes me a bit disappointed. But it's his choice, and he can do what he wants. You know, I'm not going to tell him, like, you shouldn't be hanging out with those people. I'm not an authority figure in his life. And they don't seem to be doing, like, genuinely illegal things besides underage drinking. Which I don't agree with. I don't think that they should be. But who am I to stop them? Like, I'm not going to go in there and be like, stop it. Or I'm not going to call the police on a whole bunch of kids. I didn't start drinking. Like, I drank maybe once when I was 16. I snuck some vodka. And I don't know, I mean, I didn't even drink again, really, until I was 21, almost 22, I'm pretty sure. Like, I would drink occasionally at 21, but I didn't really start drinking until 22. I don't know. I don't like my cousin drinking. He's too young. And maybe he learned his lesson. I don't know. I mean, he's passing out on a couch with a bucket near him. Claiming to have drank like 7 or 8 drinks. But as I said, you know, life goes on. His choice. His dad is okay with it, so what am I even supposed to do? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't think that kids should be drinking. Like last time that he was talking about drinking, I was saying like, oh, just don't do it in front of our grandparents because Pop-Pop's not gonna like that. You know, Pop-Pop's gonna be disappointed. I don't know if I'm wrong for saying that though. That's not the only reason I don't like his friends. His friends are also just kind of like, in general, delinquents. Like, and maybe I have like the nerd complex or whatever it is, the bullied child complex, where I'm like, these people, if I was in school with these people would bully me. That's how I see some people, you know? I do compare people to like what school life with them would be like. Like, okay, if I was in school with this person would bully me. I don't really feel comfortable around this person. I also see it the other way. I'm like, oh, if I was in school, I'd probably be friends with this person. This person seems cool. If we like had to sit at the same table or something and we talked, or if I just like eventually got the courage to talk to somebody new, we'd probably be pretty good friends. I don't know. Personally, I see most people I don't really like to read people by their cover or whatever, judge people by their cover, how they appear at first glance. I don't know, I don't think I should really be speaking about, like, my opinions on people, because my opinions on people are constantly changing. At one moment, I'm like, I hate this person, and the next one, like, well, I'd like to meet this person. I'd like to understand them more, or whatever. I would like to maybe try to make better with this person, if it's somebody that I have a negative connection with. Or if I just have negative opinions. Like Johnny Somali, in the documentary that Alex Novell made, I was watching that. I got invited to go see it in person. Oh, I'm fancy. And it was interesting because the way that Twitter and just the internet in general, YouTube channels, all these things made Johnny seem, he seemed like the worst person on earth. Like, he did all these horrible things, and he did do some horrible things, right? But he's not the worst person on earth. He's not comparable to the big bad German guy that everybody hates. I mean, not everybody, but you know, you should hate him, I think. But Johnny Somali, I mean, after watching the documentary, right, it humanized him a little bit. It changed my perspective on him. Because at first, the way that Twitter talked about him and YouTube, it seemed like he was the worst person. It seemed like he was genuinely evil, and that everything he did, and all these accusations against him, and these crimes he's being persecuted for were truth. But once I watched the documentary, it made me realize, like, he's not that bad, really. Like, he's not much different than any other streamer. The only thing is that he does some more stupid stuff. You know, I mean, and also, he's kind of, like, villainized, even by the law. And that end segment where well, I mean, I guess I can't really spoil things. The video probably comes out in a few days. I think he said that it's going to be released in like a week from when the screening happened. And that was last Sunday, so in like 2 days, it's probably going to be released. I don't know, I mean, I never really cared about spoilers. One, because I don't usually remember what people tell me. I have a goldfish memory. And two, what is two? I don't know, I mean, somebody telling you how something happens is different than just like watching it actually happen or hearing it actually happen. I don't know. Maybe for like books, if you spoil the ending of a book, it's like the worst thing ever. Or if it's like, no, never mind. Because I remember getting very upset at a friend. Because there's this anime. I don't watch anime a lot, but when I was younger, I used to. When I was like 13, 14. I still watch anime occasionally. I like JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and I don't know, I rewatched Parasite the Maxim a few times. Samurai Champloo. I never finished Cowboy Bebop, but I like that. And I think that Samurai Champloo and Cowboy Bebop are made by the same people. But I remember there was this anime I liked when I was younger called Your Lie in April. Your Lie in April. And I was really invested in it. I told my friend one day, like, oh, this show is so cool. And it's just like, yeah. And then spoiled, like, a major plot point. I don't want to spoil things. Because if there's anybody who ever watches this and they're like, oh, I love Your Lie in April, I'm watching it right now. And then they find out the horrible thing that happens. or the good thing. I mean, I guess I've already spoiled it just by saying horrible, because you put two and two together. Right? I'm gonna spoil it. So if you don't want to hear me spoil Your Lie in April, you know, log off. Or, I don't know, mute this? I don't know. But I'm gonna say what happens in like, maybe like, give me 5 seconds, 10 seconds to say it, and then you can come back. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Okay. So in Your Lie in April, right, this girl is like sick. Like really, really sick. I don't remember, though, I haven't watched it since I was 13, and I'm 23 now, so there's a lot of, it's literally been 10 years. But she gets sick. Okay, this is more than 10 seconds, I'm sorry. She gets sick, and they have like this wonderful connection and everything. They start falling in love. I was really invested in it. And then my friend was just like, oh yeah, the main character dies. Or not the main character, the girl dies. The girl dies. And I got really mad at her for spoiling that. Like, I was so invested in this show, and then you just spoiled the major thing. I'm sure that, like, if I was more educated in media at that point, or whatever, I'm not really educated right now. I mean, I just watch Adam Sandler movies, Jack Black movies. I watch, like, those actors that make the same movie 500 times. Ben Stiller. Although Ben Stiller movies are kind of different, I think. But I'm sure that, like, if I was to watch that show without having prior knowledge to it now, I would probably be watching it. I'm like, yeah, this girl's gonna die. This girl is going to die. There's people looking at me through the window. I don't like that. I've been yapping for 42 minutes. Like, I have, what is this site called? I think it's called Letterboxd. I have a Letterboxd account, and all the movies that I have reviewed on it are things that I like watch, like actually watch. It's not like just joke reviews, but also in a way it is a joke, because I think it's really funny to just be like, I only watch Adam Sandler, Jack Black, and Ben Stiller, and like other weird comedy movies. Like the last movie I put on there, I think, was the movie Paul, about like a little alien guy who gets, I guess he's been stranded on Earth for about 50 years, and he's like, runs into these two nerds who are touring America they're from Europe, and they're touring America for like some convention. It's a funny movie. I think it's funny. There's some cringy parts, but I mean, I'm kind of cringy, and like a lot of people I know are kind of cringy, so it's okay. But also the part where like they very much force this girl to like curse a lot is dumb in a way, because it's like, who is this supposed to be funny for? Is this supposed to be funny for an adult watching this adult comedy movie, or is this supposed to be funny for like the teenage boy who's watching it? You know, I mean, is this supposed to be funny for the audience that it's like rated for? I'm pretty sure. Or is this supposed to be funny for like, am I just gonna repeat myself more? You get what I mean. I thought it was a good movie though overall. You know, I mean, I'm very generous with my ratings because I don't really know how to rate things. I'm sure if I like put more practice into it or whatever, I'd be better. You know, like I had a girl ask me to rate her once. I was like, I don't know how to do that. I just gave her like slightly below 10 because I liked this girl at the time, and I thought she was pretty. But I feel like if you give somebody 10, then that's like too much, you know? Like, oh, you're lying. That's not realistic. Nobody's a 10. But then if I give her, you know, like somewhere in the middle or somewhere lower, that's offensive. And I didn't want to offend her, and I didn't think that she was somewhere lower or in the middle. I did think that she was perfect in my mind. I don't really like being put on the spot where I'm asked, like, oh yeah, can you rate me? Like what? I don't know. It's awkward. I think I gave her like, oh yeah, you're an 8 or something. And then she didn't talk to me for a month. And she changed her username from whatever it was before to Mystical Raspberry. So like obviously she's been online. And yes, my girlfriend was just like a freaking e-girlfriend. I have not dated somebody in person in a long time. But at least it was something, you know, and I was happy and she was pretty. And she would send me pictures of herself. And but like she was kind of bad at communicating. At some point I realized that I'm sending her like good morning texts, I'm telling her I love her and all these things, and hours will go by or sometimes even a day before she even responds to me. People were passing by. But I mean, she would take like hours or even a day to even respond to me. And then I thought to myself, like, if I don't send her a message in the morning, if I don't say something every single day, how long is she gonna go without talking to me? And this was like after maybe 5, 6, 8 months. I don't even know how long exactly. I think we were talking since last September, so it's been quite a while. Not even just talking, I mean, we were together, technically. As together as somebody 1,500 miles away from each other could be. And eventually, after like 8 months or so of me sending her messages every single day, hoping that she would send me something back in response, craving her attention, which I tend to do. I tend to crave people's attention. Unfortunately, I get a bit obsessive. I try not to be. I've been better lately. But when I was younger, it was definitely a lot worse. I remember like what'd I do? Oh, there was this girl, and I would send her messages every day, even though we broke up. And I was like, oh, I don't even remember what I said. This was when I was like 14. But eventually one of her friends called me and she was just like, hey, you gotta stop like harassing her. I was like, oh. And then I stopped eventually, and I apologized to her like half a year later once I realized how bad I was. And I didn't really do it again. I mean, I obsessed over one other girl. Because I thought that we had something that was real. And then my mom kind of messed that up for me. By taking all my devices and taking everything that I own and putting it in a box and locking me in a room. And if I even touched anything, she would snap, well, her boyfriend would snap it in half. And they did snap my guitar in half. My snapped guitar is over there. waiting to be repaired still after like however many years. 7 now. And it's a nice guitar. I'll pull it out in a minute. But so when I went back to school after the summer, one, I gained a lot of weight because all I was allowed to do was leave my room to eat food. I wasn't allowed to go outside. I was stuck in my room, no items, and if I took any, they would be broken in half, as I said. Excuse me. So when I saw her, she was really mad at me, and I was like, I'm sorry, you know, I couldn't do anything. My mom locked me in my room. I was unable to call anyone. I didn't even go out, really. Gained weight. Became depressed. I mean, I've gone through like different levels of depression throughout my life. It's been worse, it's been better, it's been different. Right now, I'm maybe in a depression, but I feel okay. I mean, I felt pretty fine for a while now. There's like days where my mom will yell at me and then we get into a big argument. But I mean, after I leave that and the next day I wake up, I'm calm. I'm happy. You know, it's just a minor upset. A minor negative situation that blasts at me occasionally. But I mean, I'm fine most of the times. Right now, at least. In my life right now, I'm fine. You know, I went for an assessment not too long ago. Maybe back in like February it started. And occasionally I would go to the doctors to talk to a social worker. And they would, like, at first, I was supposed to fill like a questionnaire saying like, oh, how's your depression affect you? But then I didn't really like connect with a lot of it. I don't think that I'm depressed in that sense. I just have bad discipline and bad whatever, but I'm not bad as a person, I don't think. And I'm not bad at taking care of my situation, my mental health, I don't think. You know, I mean, when I was younger, I've done all different ways of coping with my feelings. You know, not to get too graphic, but you know, I've done more graphic things to myself. I've punched walls. These are all different stages. So at first, you know, I turned the rage onto myself, I guess. But it was very minor. Like, you wouldn't even be able to tell. I don't know. And this is because, like, my mom's boyfriend was, like, fighting me every other day. Like, physically fighting. So, eventually, it got to the point where I was, like, I turned the rage from myself. You know, I was letting him beat me up. I was letting him yell at me. And then it made me more aggressive, unfortunately, over the years. And eventually, one day, I started fighting back, which resulted in me having more aggression, I guess. What's this doofus doing out there? People passing by. But yeah, I had more like aggression that I've learned just from the situation I was in. And instead of, you know, turning my rage onto myself, I started fighting him back. Or I'd punch a wall. I would do the freaking cliche, like, Monster. I mean, I didn't really drink Monster energy drinks. I still don't really drink energy drinks. But I would do the very cliche, like, I hate my mom's boyfriend, and then punch the hole in the wall or something. Which luckily, because there's been times, at least a few years ago, where I was still with that rage. I learned how to make, like, spackle from like flour and whatever else I put in it. I don't even remember. And house paint. And then you just fill in the wall. So I figured out how to fix my own holes. But I don't do that anymore. I don't punch things. I don't get aggressive in the sense that like I'm throwing things and like fighting back anymore. I mean, my mom's not with that guy, luckily. And she's not, I don't know, the guy that she's with right now, he has like face tattoos and stuff, but he's nice. He's a bit of a dutz, or whatever the word would be. He's a bit of a dummy, but he's a nice dummy. You know, he's just clumsy in ways that, like, I can't wrap my mind around. Like, he'll leave the door. Today, he left the door open, the front door, but the second door to our actual apartment, he locked while I was trying to come in with the trash. So he saw me there. I left the door open for him. He left the door open still somehow. And then he went upstairs and locked the door behind him. Locked me out while leaving the bottom door wide open. Like, what? I don't know. Or he's left the stove running multiple times. Like, there's been multiple times where I've, like, started smelling like gas in the air, and then I turn over and the stove is just on, leaking gas into the air. And the first time that it happened, my mom yelled at me. She was like really mean about it. The second time it happened, I saw him do it. I still got yelled at. And it's not like she just yells at you at the one point where it happens. But like the next day, she'll yell at you more. She'll yell at you the day after. She has to like forget about it before she can stop. She'll remind you. She'll be sure to remind you if you do something wrong. And I didn't even do anything wrong, because it was literally her boyfriend who did that every single time. And he's done it multiple times, and he even did it once right in front of her. And never once did she yell at him. Never once did she treat him with the same, whatever the word would be, the same disrespect? I don't know. The same attitude that she gave me when she thought that I did it every single time. And I don't hate this guy. I like this guy. He's cool. He's nice. It's just that he's clumsy, and sometimes that gets me in trouble because I'm perceived as clumsy. I do clumsy things, right? I don't know. I mean, I forget what I'm doing at work right after being told, because there's commotion going on around. I have to collect my brain, figure out what I'm doing, where I'm going. But I was supposed to be on medication that helped that. The medication didn't even help. That's the reason why I went to go see the neurologist, psychologist, whatever, neuropsychologist. Or I think, I don't know. Because last time I went to go see him, which was like yesterday or the day before, he told me that he wants to refer me to a, I don't remember if he said neuropsychologist or psychologist, physiologist? What is the word? I'm at a loss for words right now. Is that the right phrase? I've lost my mind. I can't remember what I'm trying to say. I don't know. Neuropsychologist, physiologist is not a word. That's like some made up word that a soda company would make up, and they're like, oh, look, it's the physiologist. They're making fucking fizzy soda candies. Oh, ha ha ha. This type of shit you be seeing in New York City. This type of shit you be seeing in Maryland. This type of shit you be seeing in Florida. This type of shit can be seen in New Jersey, Ocean City, Maryland, Ocean City, New Jersey. They both look very similar. I've never been to Ocean City, New Jersey, but they look very similar from pictures I've seen. The only difference that I'm aware of is that, well, obviously one's in New Jersey and one's in Ocean City, Maryland, but the only difference that I've noticed is that in New Jersey, you're not allowed to have alcohol in this Ocean City. Autobots roll out! Atlantic City! Neuropsychologist, neurophysiologist, fuckologist. I don't remember what he said, but he was like, oh yeah, I want to refer you to somebody. And then the lady at the front desk told me, oh yeah, this person only takes, the person he's trying to refer you to only takes like one patient a day. So it's going to take a while until I can actually go and get like neuroanalyzed, however that's going to work. But it's just to figure out what medication I really need to be on to help me focus better. And they're probably just going to put me on Adderall and be like, okay, this is what you're going to be on. Because the thing is, the neurologist that I was seeing, he was telling me, oh, I don't want to just keep prescribing you medications. Even though I'm pretty sure I probably started on the weakest one. I was taking some medication called Strattera. It's also called like anatomoxine or something. Anatomoxine. I don't remember what it's called. It's a big word. But I was prescribed that at first. I started on a very weak dose of like 20 milligrams, then 40, and then 80 was like the plateau. You know, because you wanted to like wean me into it, if that's the right word. That took about a week to wean into it, a week and a half maybe. So the 80 milligram one, the only difference that I noticed in my mind was like, I maybe felt a like head rush. Like the only way that I can really describe it is like, it's how you feel when you get like high. Like it was a dopamine rush. But it was very small. Because the thing about this medication is that it's designed to release dopamine or whatever chemical it is that's supposed to fix my brain at a very slow rate. But it did not really like change my behavior. It didn't change anything. If anything, it made me more aggressive. Because I found myself fighting with my mom a lot more, and like having to leave the house because it was just getting so overheated. And since I've been off the medication, it has not been happening as much. Because I eventually just stopped taking it. Because I was like, this isn't doing anything good for me. It's annoying having to take a pill in the morning that doesn't do anything. It's my nothing pill. It's literally my nothing pill. I felt no difference. I had no better ability to focus at work, at home, on projects I'm working at personally. The only side effect that the only thing that like I feel like actually happened was that I would feel that head rush, and maybe it made me more aggressive or irritable. And maybe it made my tics worse, because I have a form of Tourette's where I make like this stupid noise. I do these stupid things. Like, I don't know what the word would be. It's not like compulsive. I guess it's compulsive because it's like I have the urge to do it. Not even urge, just like this intense. Not even intense. I don't know how to describe it to like somebody who wouldn't understand it. I don't think it's like something no one can understand, right? But like, I'm sure you've noticed me making like that noise in between my words, like kind of acting up occasionally, like, or whatever. I can't like replicate it perfectly when I'm doing it on purpose to explain the noise, but I mean, it gives you good enough idea of like what I'm talking about. I'm sure you can notice it in the future if you haven't noticed it yet. And then when I was younger, that noise that I'm doing, those noises, because there is more than one, and when I think about these things, I do it more as well. So I will start to like act up more now that I've mentioned it and I'm directly thinking about it. When I was younger, that thing wasn't just a little hum. It was like, or honk, or whatever you want to call that. It was like this, I'd have to repeat a phrase, right? And it came back at some point for a very short time when I was put under a lot of pressure. But when I was younger, in like elementary school, like second grade, I think, I remember like having to compulsively repeat, nothing bad will happen, nothing bad will happen, nothing bad will happen. And it wasn't like some trauma response, I don't think. I'm sure it was, but it wasn't like directly like caused by anything that was happening in the moment, I don't think. Like, I was not in the best situation for most of my childhood, but I don't think that that was like directly caused by anything that was happening around me in that moment. Or if it was, you know, I mean, maybe that explains something. But I'd have to like compulsively repeat, nothing bad will happen, until I felt satisfied with it. And over time, it changed in different ways to the point where like, I would feel satisfied enough. I guess it's called masking. Like when you change your behaviors to fit in with society because you feel like you don't or something. Over time, I was able to like turn it from nothing bad will happen into just being able to say it like in my head. And that would satisfy the same tick or whatever it is, the compulsion. But eventually it came back as just like a little hum. And also like a, I don't know. But there was a time, like quite a few years ago, I think when I lived here still, but when I lived with my mom before I moved out and then came back, there was a time where I had to repeat it again. Like I had to say it out loud. And occasionally I'll pick up a new tick. Sometimes I don't. I don't know. Like there's ones that will come and go. Like I had a whistle one for a while where it's like or something. And that's gone now, but it used to be something that I had to like compulsively do for probably just a few weeks. I don't know the psychology of that. I don't know why these things happen. I think that like tics and Tourette's are like a side effect of ADHD, which I definitely have ADHD, I'm pretty sure. I was told at a young age I do. I have trouble focusing. I've obviously like jumped from a million topics and not keeping on track of the one thing that I actually meant to talk about. You know, if it's not ADHD, it's something. But Tourette's and tics are a side effect of that. But I have quite a few because I've gone untreated for a very long time. And the problem with medication that's supposed to help me focus, now I was under the assumption that like a lot of medications are supposed to actually help with the tics and Tourette's type of stuff as well. But the neurologist is telling me that the medications that I'm on, the medications that are available, are all gonna make the Tourette's worse. And luckily, I don't have the type of Tourette's where I'm like cursing in the middle of like a very quiet event or something. You know, I'm lucky enough where I can go out in public and not be like a beacon of insult or something. I don't know. Or I'm not doing things like, look at the birdie, you know? I mean, I do have tics, and I do think that those are like valid things. I do think that there are people who actually have stuff like that, you know? And that's another thing, like TikTok people faking Tourette's, faking tics is annoying. I'm not, like, personally, I have these things, right? But it's not like, it's not like something that offends me necessarily if I see somebody faking it. But at the same time, I think like this person looks like an idiot, you know? Like, oh, you're so cute, going like, beans, you know? Oh, you're so freaking cute. Beans. Right, like there was some girl who claimed to have tics and all these things, and then she was doing all that, faking it, mimicking people that she saw who actually have it. And people found out, and her sister, I think, or somebody related to her, or who knows her, was like, no, she doesn't have these things. She's faking, looking for sympathy, which I don't even know, like, what sympathy are you going to get from acting like that? Not even in the sense of, like, what am I saying? I don't know. Like, if I see somebody with Tourette's, I'm just like, okay, this person's a bit weird, but, like, you know, I respect them, I relate to them, whatever, keep going on with your life. I'm not necessarily, like, pitying people. But these people on TikTok faking that type of stuff is it's just stupid. And this is old news. Tourette's is one of the things that they like to fake, or tics. Which I think tics are a type of Tourette's. My neurologist just said you have Tourette's. And my whole life I thought it was just tics. But apparently it's Tourette's, a form of Tourette's. I thought they were two different things. But they like to fake Tourette's, or tics, or whatever. They like to fake BPD, bipolar disorder. I know some people with bipolar disorder. I don't necessarily understand it in all its entirety. There's things that I think are weird, of course. I think it's normal to think things are weird. But you know what? I respect my friends. I don't tell them like, oh, what you're doing is fake. Because I don't think that what they're doing is fake. I think that they genuinely do have, like, I don't know. Wait. No, I'm talking about DID. Dissociative identity disorder. I have friends who have that, and BPD. Do they have BPD? I don't know. You know, I have friends who claim to have like multiple personalities and all these things. I don't necessarily understand it, but it's not like they're like, I don't know. The way that they act, I feel like these are real people. Like, this is a real person, not like just trying to mess with me or trying to like search for sympathy. And the truth is, the people who fake that type of stuff, people who fake DID, BPD, Tourette's, whatever other mental illness, those people are not those things, but they are mentally ill in another way. You know, they have an issue. I don't know if it's like narcissism. What's the one that like you look for sympathy from people? I mean, that would literally be it, is Munchausen's. You know, like that stuff that Gypsy Rose's mom had, she had Munchausen's by proxy, which means that instead of like, excuse me, instead of like acting like you're injured constantly and that you have all these issues and you have all these problems, you're constantly going to the doctor trying to get like, excuse me, get a doctor to say like, oh yeah, you are this thing, you know, because if you go to like 2 or 3 doctors, eventually one of them is going to say like, yeah, you are that, you know what, you are. I'm sure if you give them enough money, they'll definitely do that for you. Some doctors have no soul, no dignity, integrity, whatever the word you want to use there is. You know, I think they all apply. I have my opinions about doctors, but first I want to finish this little speech about Munchausen's. Right, so Munchausen's is when like you're trying to convince the doctors to give you some type of prognosis, whatever the word is, to say like, yeah, you are whatever, you have multiple personalities, you have this, you have autism, something, so that other people will be like, oh, you're such a poor little thing, let me take care of you, let me give you free gifts, let me do this, oh, you're sick all the time, that's so horrible. Right, you're taking the sympathy and like people's trust and care for you, and you're twisting it to your advantage to make yourself feel better, which I feel like is pretty messed up, because you're taking people's genuine care for somebody and like you don't even have that thing. Like some people fake cancer, fake pregnancies. I don't know if faking a pregnancy would be the same thing as Munchausen's. But they do it to look for like free gifts, sympathy, care from people. Right, I've been in pretty dark places personally. I've believed that nobody loves me, that everybody that I talk to doesn't really care about me. All these things, you know. But I would never go and fake like having cancer. I would never fake like all this stuff that is serious business. Not seriously, like maybe I would shave my head bald and say I have cancer as a joke, right? But I know people who are genuinely affected by cancer, and personally I would not fake that for people's sympathy just to spit in their face metaphorically. I don't know. But that's Munchausen's, and then Munchausen's by proxy is what Gypsy Rose's mom had. Where you, somebody in your life, you take advantage of, you try to convince them that they're sick and that they need to be taken care of and that everyone else needs to like help this person as well and that this person really is sick. So like Gypsy Rose's mom would like, I don't even know. I think she like put stuff in her mouth to like make her tonsils swell or something, or some type of gland, or they removed some type of, they convinced a doctor, she convinced a doctor to remove some type of gland in her mouth or her eyes to like mess her up so that she would look more like vulnerable, so that she would look sick. Get out of my window. People are walking by. She would force her to walk in a wheelchair and tell her like, no, you can't walk. But then like, she could walk. I don't think that she was like going and breaking her daughter's arms and legs to be like, no, you can't do anything. But they acted like that. She acted like that because her mom told her, you know, and a mother's word is held to a high value, right? Like I have been told things that what am I even saying? I don't know. I felt like I could relate to this in a way, because there are times where I feel like I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. I really genuinely don't. I'm not like trying to cover something up and be like, no, but there are times where I felt offended by something my mother said, and then I'd come back time after time, you know, and still love her, even if I don't necessarily like everything that she does. And my mom's done some things that I take great offense to, but I mean, life goes on. I'm not gonna sit here hating my mother all day, you know. I hate parts of the way that she treats me. I hate parts of my life, but I don't hate life. I love life. I love my mother. It's just like she's very manipulative, you know. And I recognize the manipulation, but I come back every time because she's my mother and I care about her or whatever. But so Gypsy Rose would stay in the wheelchair, right? And she'd be like, yeah, I can't walk. I mean, I don't know the full story. She probably knew that she could walk. I'm sure she did. You know, I don't think that she just sat in the chair and she's like, I can't walk. I can't walk. I can't walk. However, Gypsy Rose talks. Her mother would literally shave her head bald, put her in like these goofy outfits, make her wear these big wide brimmed glasses with like circular glasses, trying to make her look like handicapped, trying to make her look disabled, like stereotypically disabled. Now, you know, I say the R word. I don't know how these things are gonna feel because I set my stream to child friendly, but I mean, but she was literally like, whatever she was doing to that poor child when she was a child, is like far worse than me saying the R word. Especially because I'm pretty sure I'm able to say that. Like, people in my life think I'm autistic, so. But nasty. Anyways, she like murderized her mom. I don't necessarily stan Mrs. Gypsy Rose. That's a wild name too. I know another girl with a name very similar, but I'm not gonna dox her. I'm not gonna say her full name, her full legal name, but she has a stripper name. Anyways, my opinions on Gypsy Rose are very twisted, because on one hand, you know, she was being abused. She was being treated like she was incapable of taking care of herself. And I've been treated like I'm incapable of taking care of myself. My mom told me, why can't you just act normal? Why can't you do this? She says, oh, you're immature. That's why I treat your sister better than you. You know, she said things. So I'm taking this as like, my mom's not, Munchausen's by proxy or Munchausen's or whatever. Maybe she's Munchausen's because she does have a lot of problems. But I'm just taking this from my personal experiences and comparing them to hers. And maybe I'm revealing too much of myself, but like no one's watching this, I'm pretty sure. But excuse me. Gypsy Rose, you know, she was treated horribly. She was treated like she was incapable of taking care of herself. She was treated like a handicapped child. And she turned to the internet as an escape. Met some boy who promised her that like, oh yeah, we'll be vampires and we'll run away and whatever. And then she's like, oh, will you kill my mom for me? Will you kill my mother for me? Like, what? Where does that come from? See, and yeah, she was like, what, however old when she said that, right? She was a child, she was a teenager, whatever. But at the same time, you don't just say that. And she was put through some shit, right? Maybe she's justified in wanting that to happen, but at the same time, I don't know. But this kid came over that she was talking to, and I don't know what actually happened. I think there's like multiple stories circulating around, theories. But I've heard that the boy murdered her mother, and then she like stabbed her a few times extra or something. Because Gypsy Rose herself, I'm pretty sure, says like, oh, I put a pillow over my head and I tried to muffle out the screams as he was murdering her. But then I've also heard that she participated. And one way or another, she asked somebody to come over and kill her mother so that she could escape. Like, you could have ran away. You know, I mean, I understand it's hard, but you could have ran away. You could have done anything else, and you went to the most extreme. Right? I mean, and this girl has gone through jail, right? She got released. Now, she participated in horrible things. And once people, like recently, within the last year or two, pictures of the case were released, right? Pictures of her mother after the whole ordeal. And it was gruesome. Like, it was messed up. Like, there's doing what you have to do to get out of there, to get her down, away, you know. And then there's, like, going overboard, like, psychopathic. And she went, like, psychopathic, or they went psychopathic, he went psychopathic, whatever it is. And personally, why am I saying and personally? I don't like what they did. But it reminds me of another real life story. Somebody I know personally, may I add. I know this person who did this horrible, horrible act. They don't live very far from me. There was a person who, at about the age of 14, I believe, with her boyfriend, she was adopted at a young age, first of all. I'm just gonna say that. She was adopted at a young age into a family that was very wealthy. Right? They had an apartment at Central Park. Like, they were in the middle of the city. They had enough money to have this nice, wonderful apartment. I would love to live in Central Park. I like the city. I like being in the commotion. I like the sound of cars going by, people talking, music, whatever. Personally, I've become accustomed to it, or whatever. I've adapted to it. I enjoy it. I have people in my family who absolutely hate it, but I like it. But this person was born, well, maybe not born into the best family at the beginning, but they were adopted at a very young age into money. And from what I've heard, she was going to school saying, like, I'm going to kill somebody tonight. I'm going to kill somebody tonight. She was just telling random people that. And then she and her boyfriend, her friend, whatever it was, I don't know. They described it in the newspapers as her boyfriend. But I know that she's a lesbian because she had a lesbian wife at one point. Like, I knew her before I knew that she did all these horrible things. She threatened to kill my family because we were one of the people who, like, found this out first. But she What happened? That night after school, when she was 14 still, she went into the park, Central Park, late at night. She found some man drinking on the park bench, and her boyfriend came up to him, and they're like, hey, can we sit next to you? Can we have some? Whatever. They were just talking. You know, this poor man, unsuspecting that any of this is gonna happen. You know, I mean, I think it's weird to give a child alcohol who just randomly comes up to you in the park. But, you know, it was the 90s, I think. 80s, I don't know. I think it was the 90s. Although she seems kind of older. I don't know. Maybe that's what jail did to her. She aged quicker because she was under jail stress. Maybe that's why she's a lesbian too. I don't think I should say that though. She took this man and stabbed him, I think in his side, carved off his nose and dumped him in the, well, cut open his stomach and then dumped him in the lake at Central Park or pond or whatever it is down there. And her and her boyfriend both did it, apparently. Then they went to the house, called the police on themselves, took a bubble bath together, and the police came in while they were in the bubble bath. There was bloody clothing in the washing room. I don't know why she called the police on herself, because they were able to track down where the call came from. Like, it's not like, I don't know. I mean, she was literally a child. She was like 14, 15, 16 maybe. She was not smart. She was not thinking. Not that I would do that, but I mean, like, if I was to, I would definitely do it a lot different. I wouldn't self-report. But, you know, I think that's probably because this is like a common thing, right? People who do atrocious acts like that, they return to the crime scene. They will call themselves out. I think this is some type of, like, mental thing. Like, people who do stuff like this, they have an urge to have attention or to, like, secretly, like, keep tabs on everything. But calling the police on yourself is really stupid. But, you know, I mean, she went to court. They put her through trial. They were like, you're guilty. And then her and her boyfriend both went to jail. And when I met her, she was married to this lady who had like 5 children. Holy crap. And we would walk their dogs sometimes. Me and one of my ex-aunts now. But at the time she wasn't an ex-aunt. And me and my sister would go over to her house. We would walk their dogs for them. We would talk to them because they were still there. We would just go there and walk them while they were there. They leave their dogs. They had like 4 dogs that I'm pretty sure they bred for profit or something. But they were all like in like a separate part, disconnected from the house. They were in like their own little shed that they lived in. I don't know if that's abuse, because like you live in New York. You live in New York City. Not even the city, really. You live in New York. You don't have like a big lavish yard or whatever. You don't have like all this space where you can run around and do all these things. So why is your dog treated like a farm animal? Literally treated like a farm animal. Like dogs that are meant to like herd sheep and do all these things, they don't live in the house with the family. They live in like the barn. They live in their own thing. Usually. Excuse me. I mean, I don't know how it works. I've only been to a farm a few times. I guess I had family who lived on a farm at one point, because I remember going to my dad's and like getting bit by a bunny and being traumatized by bunnies for 7 years. And also like stepping in cow poop or horse poop in front of the house, barn, and animals being there. I don't know where that was. I can't necessarily ask my dad because I don't talk to him. But, interesting. Anyways, back to this person. When I knew them, we walked their dogs for them, as I said. I just gleeked. Excuse me. We would walk their dogs for them. We would hang out with their kids. The person who did the horrible act would feed us like cheese sticks. I remember one time she yelled at me. Well, not yelled, she like scolded me for not wearing a helmet while skateboarding. And looking back at that, after knowing everything that she's done and who she is, it's weird. Like an actual murderer has fed me cheese sticks and told me I need to wear a helmet while I'm riding my skateboard. And she's out of jail. I don't know how you could do such a horrible thing. Maybe it's because she was a child when she did it, so she had to serve less time, you know, now that she's an adult. But she still tells people, like, part of the reason why people even know that this happened, I've heard two different ways. One is that she told my ex-aunt that, no, my ex-aunt was reading a book and she found this segment in it on like, it was like a book on like female murderers or something, I don't know. And one segment in it was about the baby-faced butcher. And her name, Daphne, was literally the person that she was talking to. And I guess, you know, you could look it up on Google and find images and like news reports and see like this is the same person that literally we talk to on occasion. We've been in their house and she still has money. She lives in a big, nice house. She was doing renovations and making her yard look awesome. She's not with that lady anymore and all those kids. I guess people finding out that she did such a horrible thing put a lot of stress on the relationship, but at the same time, she met that person that she was married to in jail, I'm pretty sure. Like, they met in jail and got married. I don't know when, but also this lady had like so many children, the lady that she was married to. So I don't even know like what their whole relationship situation was, where those children came from or when. But at some point they eventually just only lived with their grandparents. I wonder if they all knew that this person did such a horrible thing. The person that their mother is married to, their second mother, whatever you want to call her, is literally like a murderer. But anyways, back to how people found out about this. It was either that my ex-aunt was reading a book and she found out the story about the murder, or it was that my other aunt was talking to her, because my aunt like became real good friends with both of them, the murderer and her wife. Or girlfriend, or whatever they were. They became like buddies. Like, I'm pretty sure they've even been in my mother's car or in the same car as me before. And they would go out drinking. They would hang out, you know? And excuse me. This lady is so stupid, even to this day, that she is telling people that when I was younger, I actually murdered somebody. You know, I mean, like, how stupid do you have to be? You're living a decent life, right? Like, okay, you could trust these people, but like, why would you tell them that you literally committed one of the worst acts that you possibly could against another human? Even if it's like, I don't know. I don't think that they were like even that close. You know, I mean, they were talking for maybe a few months. They haven't even known each other for more than a year. And then she's just like, by the way, in her own house with my aunt, probably alone, I don't know. She's just like, hey, by the way, did I ever tell you why I went to jail? Or something. You know, I mean, like, have you told other people that? And they were just like, oh, that's okay. You murdered a man, you drowned and cut off the nose of a man and all these horrible things, and went to jail for it for many years. You know, that's okay. We're still friends. No. I don't think anyone would be accepting of that except for like other people in a similar situation who've also gone through jail for doing murder. Personally, and I don't do things like this. But if I did murder somebody, I would definitely not tell somebody else, ever. You know, once I'm out of jail, my lips are sealed. What do you mean I went to jail? You know, I mean, like, if somebody confronts me and, like, obviously they know that something is up, I can't, like, just lie, right? I'm gonna have to say something and probably move out of town. She didn't even move out of town. Everyone here, I'm pretty sure everybody here, at least everybody who knows my family, I'm sure, and a lot of people know my family around here. The people know that she has done such a horrible thing because she was dumb enough to tell somebody else, and she just lives here still. Like, no one's like throwing eggs at her house. Nobody is putting flaming bags of shit on her door. Whatever else people do to people to terrorize them. No one is terrorizing her. She goes about her life. She even has the audacity. And I mean, I say this word often, audacity, but it's like a very TikTok thing. I don't really like it. But it's the best word that I can think to use here. She has the balls, right? The kahunas to say hi to my family still, as if she didn't, like, announce that she's gonna kill every last one of us. She literally said that, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I can't say that she literally did, but through second person, third person accounts, I'm dumb. I barely passed school. I probably only passed because of COVID. But through secondhand accounts, I've heard that she said she was going to kill every last one of us. And she said our last name. Our family name. And then years down the line, she just, you know, she sees my mom in the local store. And she's just like, oh, hey. Like, didn't you say you're gonna kill us? Didn't you already kill somebody? So, like, there's merit to your words now? Or at least I would expect that, like, what you say is true and not just a joke. I don't know what's up with people like that. You know, the self-reporting, like, no one asked, oh, why'd you go to jail? Or, oh, I mean, maybe somebody did ask why you go to jail, but you lie at that point. You don't have to tell the truth. You know, I'm not advocating for her to live a good life. Like, I want people to go up to her house and throw toilet paper over her house and, like, just do things that are genuinely annoying just to terrorize her. Right, she's not a good person. I don't really think that she should be free walking amongst the rest of the population. I think that she should rot in a jail cell for what she did. But, you know, I mean, she's dumb enough to tell people still, so now most of the people around here hate her, I'm pretty sure. At least people who know what she did. I walked by her house not long ago, like a few weeks ago I walked by, and I saw her, I'm pretty sure, and I just did not even look at her. I saw her, but I did not react to her. I didn't say hi. I didn't like, I didn't do anything. Just rode past. I was on my bike. I said walk, but I meant I was on my bike. So that's my story about knowing a literal murderer and how she said she was going to kill my whole family and me, and how now she acts all buddy-buddy as if that never happened, and as if everybody doesn't know that she's committed horrible, horrible acts. And I like to, not stalk people, right? It's not stalking people. I like to look up articles about the place I live at, about people who are around me. Not people who are around me, but notable people around me. Not just general people. That's a lie. I will look up my town, and I will look at people who I recognize at faces I recognize. I will look at faces that I recognize. I will go to I will go to pages of people's faces. I will go to the pages of people that I recognize, and I will look at them. I'll look at their followers and see who else they follow. I am a bit weird, right? A bit stalkerish, but I'm not commenting on their things. I'm not liking things. I'm not doing it just to find this person's information. I'm just oh, I know this person. Where are they posting? I don't know. Well, I'll look up my town. Just the other day, I looked up my town, and then on Google, there's this thing you can do where you can put before, colon, I think, is the 2 dots, not dot and dash, comma. I think that it's semicolon is the 2 dots. I don't know. Whatever one. I'm just gonna say colon, 2 dots, not dot, comma. You can look up before, colon, and the date, right, on Google. So I looked up my town before, the name of my town before 2005. And I found an article that was talking about where I live. And it was basically, it was from 1974, but it was basically explaining everything exactly how it is today. Some of the restaurants even are still here from back then. It was talking about the dynamics of people who come here, people who live here. And it's basically all the same. I mean, there was racism, but the thing is that this is a very white town. And there is racism here. I've heard about it personally. I'm white, so I don't experience racism in the same manner that someone else might. But, I recognize racism when I hear it. So, there's a few people here who are racist. I'm lucky enough where I don't have to experience their racism, but I know that there's a few people who do not like black people around here, or Puerto Ricans, or whatever. And in the article that I was reading from 1974, it was saying there's 3 types of people who come to this town. There's the majority of white population. Maybe it's not racist. It's just the fact that they said blacks and Puerto Ricans. It felt very strong. I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily racist. I'm not going to speak for another race, right? I think it's kind of dumb when people are people take such offense to a white person saying the N-word, right? And personally, I don't say it. But as much of a cuck as iDubbbz is right now, back then, you know, during the Filthy Frank era, Max Mofo and iDubbbz, when they were all pals and anything for views. You know, there was a video where iDubbbz went to TanaCon, Tana Mojo, or whatever her name is, to go see her. And when he was taking a picture, he said, say, and then he said the N-word with a hard R. And now, I do have a different opinion on hard R than soft. Because I feel like if you say it's soft, it's not offensive, right? Like, that's what people call each other. And I'm not one to take offense to, like, something that doesn't affect me, right? I'm not going to tell somebody else, you can't say that word. But I am going to be, like, maybe a bit iffy, but being around them. Because, like, what if somebody does get offended by it? But, like, you know, it's not my place to be offended, really. Oh, you have to use your privilege to, like, people saying, oh, use your privilege for the better good or whatever. It feels kind of like privileged, you know? Or whatever the word is. It feels like somebody calling themselves humble. You can't call yourself humble and be humble. You could tell somebody to stay humble. You could give people advice about being humble, right? But once you call yourself humble, that's not being humble. I mean, I guess you could still be humble and call yourself humble, but you're, you know, it was an unhumble act to call yourself humble. But anyways, back to the thing that, like, people would actually care about, because I'm already digging myself a hole. Personally, I don't really have much of an opinion on the N-word. Like, I don't really care if people say it. Like, people who aren't supposed to. Right? But when people who are white say, like, tell somebody else, oh, you can't say that word, right? It's offensive. Like, who are you to speak out for someone else? Because I've been in areas where white people saying the N-word is just, like, nothing. You know, everybody, I don't know, it's a class thing, right? So, like, when you're poor, when you don't have money, a white person saying N-word is just another guy, you know? It's not a white person saying N-word, it's your friend saying the N-word. I don't know how to explain it, because I'm not black. I don't really have the right to explain it, I guess. Like, Sonic saying the N-word, right? My pal Sonic, one Sonic, he's, like, Mexican, I think. In my opinion, he looks white, right? But he says that he is Mexican, and there are white Mexicans. White Hispanics, white Latinos, whatever. And personally, I don't think that, like, Mexicans have any more right to say the N-word than a white person does. Because, you know, it's a word that was used against black people. It's not a word that was used against Mexicans. I'm sure there is definitely another slur for them. It starts with an S. But, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to tell somebody that they can't say the N-word, right? I'm not going to tell somebody, you can't say that word. I just dug myself a hole. I've contradicted myself. Whatever. My stance on the word is, if it actually bothers somebody who would be affected by it, that is valid, but just white people being upset that other white people are saying the N-word is stupid. And I don't say it, right? Like, I'm not that type of person to say it. I feel like it would sound like not right coming out of my mouth anyways. But next topic, because I'm digging myself a hole. My sister was telling me, this is kind of related to the last topic. My sister was telling me that in school she calls something retarded. Right? And it's like, well, one of her friends was like, wait, can you say that word? And her excuse, first of all, her excuse was, I can say it because my brother is retarded. And that's me. So she called me retarded when someone asked her, are you allowed to say that word? And I think that's funny personally. Because I think I'm retarded too. But she... Then after she was telling me about that, she went on to like this whole rant, kind of, where we just debated the use of the R word. I don't know. The retard slur. And she... Well, one thing that I thought was interesting is that we were kind of discussing, like, is telling somebody they can't say the R word, the R slur, offensive? Right? Like, if I go up to somebody and I tell them, you can't say that word. You can't say that word. Like, huh? First of all, have you met me? Have you met me? I mean, literally, look at me right now. I'm acting retarded. I think, or I'm acting autistic. And retarded is a word that affects autistic people. And I feel like if I am autistic, if I have ADHD, because ADHD and autism are very similar, does that not give me the right to say retard? And I've been called retard multiple times throughout school life, right? Like, I'm a person affected by this word. I am what the word describes. I am mentally slow. I have trouble focusing, processing things sometimes. And I don't know. But, something that we said is like, you're not gonna go up to what am I saying? I twisted my words up. I promise I didn't mean to say anything wrong. But you're not gonna go up to a black person and say the N-word. No, that's not what I meant to say either. You're not gonna go up to a black person and when you overhear them say, after overhearing them say the N-word, and you're gonna, you're not gonna go up to a black person and tell them they can't say the N-word. Right? You're not gonna go up to a black person and say, you can't say that word. Like, first of all, look at my melanin. Look at my melanin. Look, see that? That's my melanin. Not me, though. I'm joking here. But you're not gonna go up to a black person and tell them they can't say the N-word, right? So why are you going to a retard person and telling them they can't say the retard word? Or like, how do you even know that I'm not retarded? Like, obviously I am. I'm wearing a freaking Party City spooky scary shirt with the same shirt I wore like 3 days ago now, 4 days ago. And I did change my shirt. I took a shower, I changed my shirt. I'm just wearing this shirt again because it's more comfy than my shirt that I had on before because I feel bloated and disgusting. Right? Like, I feel like I don't look normal. I don't look like a neurotypical person. It's not even just my clothing, right? I have long hair as a man, and that doesn't necessarily, like, mean that I am autistic or something, right? But I have, like, if I cut my hair, I feel deeply uncomfortable. I like having long hair. My hair is something that if I did not have, I go into a depression, almost. Every time I've cut my hair, I felt disappointed. And I just waited until it grew back. There's this awkward stage between having long hair and short hair that I hate. I don't know how to style my hair when it's short. I have to get used to having short hair. I am autistic about my hair. The piercings, I don't think the piercings necessarily mean I'm like not neurotypical, but they're something that I decided to get on a whim, kind of, I guess. I don't know. I didn't decide to get them on the whim. Like, I took time to, like, think, I really want these. Right? Like, I wanted the eyebrow piercing only on one side. I don't want to get this other one because I like the asymmetry of it. I like having these bridge piercings. I want to change them out for spikes. I have to go to the shop and ask if I can do that yet. I got a headache. But I mean, I think I look and act autistic, right? Like, just looking at me, you'd probably be like, that person's not normal. Right? So I feel like me saying the retard word is not, like, as offensive as my sister saying it. Visually. Like, to the person who would be offended by that, me saying it, I at least look and act like I have a pass for it, right? But my sister, she looks like a neurotypical person. She's a bit, like, alternative. She has dyed hair. She has nose ring. She wears dark red lipstick. She wears, like, vintage Fox racing shirts or whatever. And I don't know. I mean, she looks alternative, gothic, kind of. But she doesn't look autistic. She doesn't look like somebody that you would look at and be like, this person can say retard. And they can say it damn good. You know, and she doesn't fidget like I fidget, right? Like, I can't sit still. I have to crack my bones. I have to wrinkle my nose. I have to do things with my eyebrows and my, whatever these are, my cheeks. I have to rub my nose for no reason sometimes. I have all these tics. I make stupid noises involuntarily. It's not necessarily involuntary. Like, I can sit here and I cannot do it, but I will feel uncomfortable. Right. Like, I will have this uncomfortable feeling that comes over. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than, like, it's excitement that's bottled up and it's trying to get out of me. But it's not excitement. It's the tics. It's the noises. It's the movement. If I sit here and I don't do anything, stone man, I don't know. It's not like this actual feeling. It's not like a mental thing. I mean, it is a mental thing, but it's not, I don't know how to explain it. But, yeah, my sister probably shouldn't say retard, right? If we're gonna be PC, if we're gonna be inclusive to everybody and whatever. But I feel like limiting somebody's vernacular, limiting somebody's ability to speak is kind of stupid. Like, first of all, how do you know I'm not retarded? Like, I'm retarded, but in my sister's words, how do you know I'm not retarded? Right? How do you know I'm not autistic? How do you know I'm not allowed to say this word? You don't know my issues, right? Like, and okay, fine, the word retard, the word retard is offensive, right? But like, I'm probably autistic. I definitely have ADHD. I've been called retard multiple times, both offensively and as a joke. And I don't really take offense to it at this point in my life. Right? And I don't speak for the whole entire retard community. Right? I'm sure there are people who are either the same level of whatever I am on the spectrum of mental issues. There's probably somebody who's either on the same spectrum as me or even further down the line, you know, even more severely autistic. I don't mean that in an offensive way. I'm probably using the wrong terms here. I know I've said retard a million times, but I'm not trying to be offensive. To me, it's not an offensive word. It doesn't affect me offensively. But I'm sure there is somebody who is more severe, or what is the word? Low functioning? Low functioning doesn't sound any better than severely. But I'm sure there is somebody who is low functionally more autistic than me. That doesn't sound right. I don't know. I'm sure there's somebody who's more autistic than me, or the same level, who takes way more offense to the word than I do. Like, I feel like there's a time and a place, right? Like, I'm not going to go up to some random person and say, oh, this person's a retard. Right? I've been offended by the word before, because my friend used the word to talk about somebody who maybe she was justified in saying it, right? Maybe she was justified and I'm dumb for like morally trying to correct her, whatever. But I took offense to my friend calling her ex a retard. Because one, I'm pretty sure he's like actually autistic. And two, I don't know what was wrong with me. I was dumb. Because like this dude was annoying. This dude, like not in like an autistic way, like a sociopath way. Like he was making accounts. No, he made an account where he catfished her into like being in a relationship with him. And he like used pictures of more attractive men as his profile picture and stuff that he would send to her. But then like at the same time that he was doing that, she asked him, oh, can you send me a picture of your hand? You know, because they get into that erotic roleplay, ERP, they're ERPing. So, you know, she asked him one day, like, oh, can you send a picture of your hand? And it was like, first of all, it was like not the same color as the person that he was sending her. Some random dude from Pinterest, may I add. But, like, the pictures were some random dude from Pinterest. But his hand was, like, covered in scabs. Like, he was, like, picking at his skin. Not, like, weird, like, drug people's scabs or, like, scabies. But, like, it looked like he picked at his skin a lot or something. And he like... Another time he sent... Also, his hand looked, like, fat, right? Like, my hand, almost. Like, it was not a skinnier hand. My hand's not, like, super fat looking, but it's not a skinny hand. Right? I have a plump hand. chubby hand, whatever. At least it's not like Michelin tire man hands. But his hands were like covered in scabs and puffy looking, and the dude that he was sending pictures of was like skinny, chiseled, you know, like he did not look like he would have hands. I'm pretty sure there was like pictures of his hands in some of the Pinterest dude's hands in some of the pictures that he sent her. So we compared stuff like that. I was like, this dude is like lying to you. You should leave this person. And then she got into a relationship with him that lasted a while, and he emotionally manipulated her and continued to lie about everything. Like at one point he was like, oh, I'm in an orphanage and I lied because I'm nervous. And then like his biological brother walked by and like he was not in an orphanage. And also I'm pretty sure that he was like 18. Like he was not a child when he was saying he was in an orphanage, right? I'm pretty sure that like once you turn 18, you don't stay in the orphanage anymore. At least from what I've seen in movies and like shows and stuff, right? I don't know how it is in the real world. I'm sure if you're lucky and you find somebody who's like really nice, they'll let you stay there until you get your stuff together, your situation together. But everything he said was very obviously a lie at one point. And she got into a relationship with him knowing that it was a lie and knowing that it was a horrible idea. And I forgot why I even mentioned this, but this guy was just a big liar. But you know, she didn't listen to me. She didn't listen to me. And she got emotionally manipulated for a few months, a few weeks, whatever it was. It happens to the best of us, right? I've been through situations where I've been emotionally manipulated. I've been through relationships where I thought somebody was going to be the one and then they weren't. I've been through situations where I expected this person to like be in my life for the rest of my life and it didn't happen. I think I just said that one. I've even had relationships where that have been taken from me by life's forces, you know, things outside of mine or their control. People having to move away because of life, family, whatever. And there's been times where I've thought about these people, not even like I thought about these people like years down the line. And I was like, you know, we were supposed to like celebrate Christmas together, have our own place together, cuddle, whatever, you know, relationship stuff. And life kind of took that from us. I don't say these things because, like, one, I've moved on mostly. No, I mean, I have moved on because I'm not, like, fiending for somebody, for those people. It wasn't even those people, it was one person. But it's whatever. I'm just talking about life. There is no real thing. I've lost track of something I was talking about earlier, but it's fine. But yeah, I've been in relationships where I expected them to last and they didn't. You know, I mean, people have gone through stuff worse or better than me. I get jealous sometimes even of seeing people in a happy relationship. Like my cousin and his girlfriend are in a relationship together. And I'm not necessarily jealous in the sense like I want her or I want to like have, I don't know, have something like that. But I mean, if things worked out, I would have a relationship that would last as long as theirs have, I would be with somebody, or my aunt's friends who are married, right? Like, I've known them for years, and then they got married, and I thought that was very wonderful, but, you know, it brings me down a bit, because it's like, where's that for me? Where's the person that I'm going to marry? You know, where's the person that is going to be there for me, who truly understands me, who I feel the most comfortable with? I feel like I could say or do anything around them, and they would not judge me. And I would do the same for them, you know. I would treat them with the most love that I have. I would not judge them, necessarily. You know, I mean, I feel like there's always judgment between people, but there's understanding. There's, like, working out things. You know, I want somebody that I feel comfortable around. There's been times where I've had that, but I've never really been in a relationship that's lasted longer than a month. Maybe, well, besides this online one, but this online one was a waste of my time, apparently, because if I don't talk to her, she doesn't talk to me. Unfortunately. My relationship before that was also online. And I don't really like doing online relationships. It just ended up being how it worked out. Because it's not like I have anybody barking at me or whatever in the real world off the internet right now. You know, I mean, I think there's people who like me for how I look. There's people who like my personality and all these things. But, like, these are very hard people. Like, they're very hard to come by. You know, they say that there's a person for everybody. And I believe in love. I believe that maybe it's harder for me to find love because I'm a bit awkward. And even when I'm not being awkward, I have my own issues. And other people have their issues. I don't know. Somebody's gonna come out of this car. Let's see what happens. Well, I'm gonna see what happens. You're not. I miss being in a relationship with somebody. I miss having the common understanding between two people. I miss feeling like somebody actually cares. And I mean, I know there's people who care about me, but it seems like a lot of the people around me don't necessarily reach out to me. No one asks, like, oh, you want to come do something? But it feels like people around me are doing things all the time, and I'm never invited. It feels like, I don't know. There are times where I feel like nobody cares. Or no one wants to reach out. Like, there was a whole time period where I was at my aunt's house when I lived with her. There was mold in the walls. Right? I don't mean to be, like, rude or anything to Sonic right now. But I've lived in a house with mold in it, right? There was literally mold in my walls for months straight, probably. Probably black mold. And now my situation and his situation are different, of course, right? Like, I'm a slob. If I have my own space, I'm gonna fill it with, like, junk that I find on the side of the street. I'm gonna fill it with, like, art projects that are never finished. There's gonna be clothing all over the floor, and flowing out of the closet. There's gonna be food wrappers behind the TV monitor or the computer monitor, because I'm a slob, right? I'm like a tier 3 hoarder, unfortunately. But why did I mention my aunt? Oh yeah, I lived in mold. I've lived in filth and depression. And the mold probably contributed to the depression because once I moved out of there, I didn't feel like I wanted to not live anymore. Right? And my life was probably the best it's ever been when I lived there. Like, I had the most freedom. I could have gone out to the city anytime I wanted, whenever, pretty much. I could have lived a life, but I was so trapped in my own mind that, like, the idea of going out and getting yelled at or having to tell somebody where I'm going or what I'm doing and then describe every detail in great, every single thing in great detail was too much to bear for me to ever really, like, just go out and do something. Like, I went to the city a few times, right? And eventually there was a time where I didn't have to answer to my mother or to other people, really. I could just go to the city and not really have to say much other than I'm going out. But I was so trapped in my own mind that I never took advantage of that for, like, the 4 or 5 years that I lived with my aunt. Unfortunately. Because maybe if I went out to the city more, 1, I wouldn't have gotten fatter. 2, I wouldn't have been around the mold as much. And 3, I would have had more friends. Because a lot of my friends moved away after high school or stopped talking to me. Actually, at this point, everyone that I was friends with in high school, like close friends with, people who I hung out with every single day, they all moved out of state. There's only one person that I went to school with, that I was close friends with, who I still talk to, and I haven't talked to him in a while, but I do, occasionally interact with him. I need to send him a text message because I think he's really just too autistic to actually, like, make first contact. But besides him, I have another friend who I barely talk to. I don't really talk to my friends anymore. Like, I've interacted with the people from the Mold Mansion more than I have my closest friends. And I consider the people at the Mold Mansion my friends. David is very nice. I'm thankful for him letting me come over into his house. You know, Sonic is nice and psychotic. And Soj and Susie. You know, I enjoy being around these people. And everybody else I've met as well. I'm not trying to leave anyone out. But I'm in spirit as well. Very thankful to have met these people and to be able to hang out with them, go to events with them, just in general be around them, you know? And I'm upset that Sonic has been gone for a while. That's why I was talking about my own depression, because I feel like I relate to him in a way. I feel like, in a way, I know what he's going through, and I don't know every aspect. I'm not trying to say, like, oh, you know, I've been through it. I'm just saying, like, I have an understanding, and I feel bad for him. And I wish that he would, like, get out of that depression. But it's not as easy as just saying, oh, I wish that you would get out of your depression. And I know that it's annoying for people to tell you that you're depressed. What the hell? I don't know, there was a notification at the bottom, but it's gone. It said video won't be saved. I don't save the videos anyways. They go to my YouTube channel and my Kick channel, which eventually deletes them, but they're on YouTube. Saturn Dahlia. Yeah. I relate to Sonic in a way. I recognize stuff in his behaviors as stuff I've gone through, stuff that I experienced. I don't mean to say, like, oh, everything that you're going through is my experience as well, and it's no big deal. It is a big deal, because I feel bad that he, like, feels so upset with his situation that he has to, like, hide away. I've sent him multiple text messages saying, like, hey, I hope that you're doing okay. Not, like, multiple in a row, right? Like, one day, I'll send him, like, hey, I hope you're doing okay. the next day, oh, how are you? You know, not even the next day, a few days apart. I'm not trying to harass him, but like I do care. I want to make sure that he's okay and he's not answering my text messages, and I'm hearing that he's answering other people's text messages, but he's not answering mine, which is fine. You know, I mean, I'm just somebody that he met at the fish tank event. I'm just somebody that he met at some event, auditioning for a show, and his friend invited me over, and I've talked to him a few times. Right, but I mean, in my mind, I consider him a friend. And maybe there's a bit of a parasocial thing, right? But I know him in person. It's not like I'm just being some weird, like trying to intrude on his life, like, you're my friend, right? But I mean, I've met him in person multiple times. We've hung out. I've hung out with him alone a few times on stream. We've known each other for a few months. We've talked a few times, like texted, I mean. And he seems cool when I'm around him. Like, I hope I'm not overstepping some type of boundary by trying to say that he's my friend. You know, but I consider him a friend. I consider Zychotic a friend. I consider Susie a friend, Spirit a friend, Zavid. And other people, you know, maybe we're not as much of a friend necessarily, but I consider them cool people to be around. Like OG Geezer, I met him. He was nice to me, even though I thought he wasn't going to be, because people were telling me he wasn't gonna be nice, because, you know, I mean, I'm kind of a sissy boy, unfortunately for him. So I thought, like, you know, this guy's gonna come down and call me F slur, T slur, whatever. That's the thing that he does, because he can't say the actual words. And lucky enough, he didn't do that, and we shared a blunt or whatever together. So I mean, I have his business card in my wallet somewhere. Well, I don't know if I can show you or not. I mean, if it's a business card, I guess he wants you to see his email and, like, stuff. I don't know. But I mean, like, I've met a lot of cool people. I'm very thankful. Actually, meeting these people have made me happier. Like, I look forward to the next time I get to go and hang out with these people. I enjoy making music with Zychotic and blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to repeat myself 5 different ways now. But what I'm trying to say is that, Sonic, I care about you, and you might think that people don't care about you, and I know what this feels like because I've also been in situations where I feel like nobody cares about me. Right? I felt betrayed by people. I felt all these things, but I care about you, Sonic. And I'm probably overstepping a boundary by being like, we're friends, right? But like, I consider you a friend. And even if we've only met a few times, and I'm just some guy that you met at the fish tank event who comes by sometimes, you know, I mean, we're friends, in my mind. And if you don't want to be friends, that's fine. I'm just being stupid right now. I don't know why I'm saying all this. Like, what am I... What I mean to say is that, Sonic, I hope you come back soon, because I care about you. And I hope that the mold situation gets fixed, and that the rent gets figured out, you know? Like, maybe you shouldn't go on stream and, like, badmouth your landlord. But, like, also, he seems to care about you. You know, I talked to Zavid off stream. Like, I talked to him in private. And Zavid seems to care about you. He's concerned. I don't think that, like, Sonic is ever gonna watch this and be like, yeah, thank you, Skylar, right? Or even watch it in general, I mean. But these are just my opinions. I'm just doing stream of consciousness right now. I've talked about all different topics today. And I probably should end this stream because I've been talking for 2.5 hours, just about, in like 5 seconds. But that was basically my day, my thoughts about the world or whatever, opinions on issues. And if anyone did stop by to watch, I don't know, because the only notification on my screen right now is Botrix has correctly joined the channel. Excuse me. But if anyone has watched, I would like to thank you, and I'm sorry if I didn't see your comment or I didn't see whatever happened, because unfortunately I don't have everything set up correctly and I don't really know how to. And I should probably like actually sit down and try to figure that out instead of just streaming and pretending like nothing's happening. Not pretending, but not knowing. You know, especially for IRL. Next time I go out to the city and I hang out with everyone and we're streaming, I'm gonna try to like get my stuff figured out so I can get, you know, the text actually on screen. I can see how many people are viewing. I can see, I don't know, donations if I get donations. I don't know how to set up donations. And it's not necessarily about the money for me, right? I don't have a lot of money. I don't get paid much working here at the cafe. I like working at the cafe. I do it for the love of the game. But I make like $120 if I'm lucky a week. And most of the times I only make like 40 a week because we're barely open here. But if I set up donations on here, I don't necessarily think that I'm gonna get any, because it's not even like anyone's viewing this as far as I know. And if I stream more often, eventually I'm gonna get an audience, right? But it's like, I don't necessarily have the most stable schedule in life, and I don't necessarily feel like streaming all the time. Like, I talk to myself. I'm a bit not well. Like, I'll when I'm alone, I'll talk to myself, just because it's easier for me to think out loud than it is to think in my actual head. And this is basically the same thing. I mean, all I have to do is just come on stream, talk my thoughts in my head out loud, which is what I do basically anyways. So, as long as I do something to at least stream like once or twice a week, maybe more often, you know, I think that's gonna be good for me. I gotta stream more, especially if I'm gonna hang out with all these people at the Mold Mansion, because I mean, I don't want to seem like a leech, right? If I go to the Mold Mansion and that's the only time I ever stream, that's kind of leeching. Because the Mold Mansion has a name. Like, the Mold Mansion has made a name for itself. It has recognition. And if I just am like, okay guys, Mold Mansion after party, making music at the Mold Mansion, doing this at Mold Mansion, hanging out with Soj at the Mold Mansion, hanging out with Sonic at the Mold Mansion, whoever, whatever. It's like, hi, you know? If I just keep doing that, like, I'm not going to... I'm going to come off as somebody who's leeching. And also, I'm not going to have any unique, like, content, right? Like, if I only stream what everyone else there is streaming, what is unique about me? I'm just another angle, you know? And, I mean, I have my personality and everything. Whatever personality I have, I don't know. I'm not the best at judging myself for those things. But, you know, I have my, whatever makes me unique, just from appearance and voice and whatever, and acts, and mannerisms. But if I'm just sitting in front of the camera or behind the camera, recording whatever's going on, like, that's not anything more interesting than everyone else's there stream. Right, like I don't go out and stream. I don't go around my town and stream because one, I don't want to like have people be like, "Oh, I saw Skylar talking to his phone and like recording people. What is that about?" to my mother, you know? And that's a bit embarrassing for me to have to explain. Oh yeah, I met these people who are streamers and they got me into streaming and now I'm a streamer as well. No. I don't want to have to explain that to my mother. If it becomes successful and it's something that's not like why are you doing that? You know, if it's something that I actually can make a living off of and like be successful in, then I'll probably be like, you know, I make all my money from just talking to a camera or just recording what's going on around me. I don't want to be just another angle. I don't want to be a leech and just only stream at the Mold Mansion. Like, I want to go out and do my own things. And I have plans. Like, it's not like I'm not excited about streaming, right? I am excited about streaming. I want to go to the woods and stream me just messing around in there. I think that would be interesting. You know, it's more content than me just sitting here spewing out my brain thoughts. Especially where I go in the woods, there's this cool abandoned train station. If I go to the train station, just mess around in there. That's interesting stuff in there. There's spray paint all over the place. It's a cool place. And I think it gets enough internet where I can just mess around in there and not have like a laggy stream. But that's one plan. There's also like a marsh area that I went to not too long ago that I found on accident. Not an accident. I went down a new path that I'd never been to before. And I found that. And it was really cool. And I thought about streaming. But instead I was like, no, I should just record a video. And then I never did anything with the video. And I felt kind of stupid because I didn't have my tripod. I was just recording myself like this. And there was a lot of bad angles. You know, I have some bad angles ever since I've gained weight. When I was skinnier, not to be like a narcissist or anything, but I think I looked better when I was skinnier. You know, I think I didn't really have a bad angle necessarily. When I was skinnier, people used to catcall me. Okay, I'm a man, right? But I used to get told things like, oh, you're not handsome, you're pretty. Or I used to get asked if I'm a girl all the time. People on the street, like weird, horny old men, would catcall me. Old ladies would flirt at me. Like, I used to be attractive. I don't think I'm necessarily not attractive now. I just gained weight and I'm awkward. And when you're skinnier and more attractive, being awkward is not like as big of a red flag, I guess. But when you're fat and awkward and whatever else I am, you know, I mean, that's a big red flag for some people. Like, I understand it. I just have to lose weight. And that's kind of the issue, is that I'm horrible at actually doing things to lose weight. I don't really go out much. I mean, I would like to ride my bike more, but it's been so hot here lately. And I'm not used to this weather. I'm not used to the heat. So I have to, like, get used to the heat first before I can go out in 100 degrees weather while also riding my bike, raising my own internal temperature, risking like heat stroke or whatever. Nah, I'm just making excuses. I've gone out in worse heat last year and I didn't have to get used to it. I just did it and then I was used to it. It's like jumping into a pool. I gotta go out on my bike. I got to go out on my bike more because one, if I ride my bike, that's cardio, and cardio is good for your metabolism, which means that instead of just being some fat slob who doesn't do anything all day, if I go out on my bike more often, I ride further and harder, really push myself. Because I've pushed myself before. I rode from here all the way to 125th Street, which is about like 20 miles back and forth, I think. I don't know. Which 20 miles for me, at least, is a lot, especially with my crappy bike that I had that was always broken, which I have to get back from the guy who's repairing it. But if I really push myself and like ride my bike more, right, my metabolism is going to start burning calories quicker. At least I'm pretty sure that's how it works. That's how I've read about it. I could be misremembering things. I could be twisting things, whatever. I could just be outright wrong. But from what I understand, when you do cardio, cardio is really good for your metabolism, which means you will burn through calories quicker. And if I burn through calories quicker, that means I can sit on the couch and be stupid and not do anything, and my fat will just be burning off my body. Right? That's why I lost so much weight when I was younger. I was going through puberty. And I was also like actually kind of into the idea of losing weight and trying to perfect my body, looks maxing. More about the calories and the cardio. True. You know, I mean, what you eat is more effective than like working out, I'm pretty sure. But the cardio would raise my metabolism as well. And I'm sure there's foods I could eat that are better for burning calories. Like proteins, I think, right? You gotta eat more peanuts. But, I gotta eat only meat. I'll eat raw steak every meal. Yeah, I gotta start putting myself on like a more strict diet and also doing things to like actually make my metabolism awaken or whatever. Because I've been sitting on the couch doing nothing for too long lately. But hopefully soon. I'm doing cheats. I'm on Ozempic. Ozempic kind of scares me because, like, as a bigger person, like, I'm not skinny, right? But I've heard things about, like, Ozempic sounds like this miracle thing where I'll just burn fat off of me. But I've heard, like, there's side effects that are, like, coming to light about it and stuff, and it seems concerning. I think I would just rather lose weight the old-fashioned way. But at the same time, Ozempic does sound very alluring. Usually you'll get dizzy and you get blurry vision for about 8 hours. Like every time you take, it's a shot, or like every time you take a dose of Ozempic, you get dizzy for 8 hours? Or is that just like the first time and you have to get used to it? Because I've heard that like some movie star or something was taking Ozempic for about a year, and it started like atrophying, whatever the word is, like I don't even know if that's the right word, but like eating away at her bone marrow, bone density. which sounds very concerning. But maybe that's just an issue with her. One shot a week. One shot a week, those effects only happen to me once. And then where I live, they sell it cheap. It's only 170 a shot. A pen, I mean. It lasts me 2 months. That's interesting. That sounds pretty cool. It does sound like a miracle drug. Maybe I should look into Ozempic. But also I should put more work into myself. Because even if I do get on Ozempic and everything, I'm just gonna gain the weight back if I don't do anything for myself. I tell myself every year, I'm gonna make change, I'm gonna do better. But I have yet to actually do that. But hopefully soon. The comment's not showing up on here, but if I move this, maybe. It won't let me move. Okay. It's not a miracle, it's a psychiatric medication. It kills the hunger on your mind. I think that's how most weight loss stuff kind of works. Like, I was supposed to take ADHD medications, and the neurologist said that like a side effect of it is that I would have appetite suppression, but that never happened, and I did not lose any weight, and my medication didn't even help me with ADHD. So now I have to go for more testing, and hopefully I'll get on something that will actually put my mind where it needs to be. One thing I could definitely do to hopefully help me lose some weight is not drink so much soda at work. Because I work in the kitchen. I'm at my job right now. I'm not working. I just came in here because I have the key. My grandfather owns the place. But I gotta start drinking Coke Zero. But also not as many sodas as I drink, because I have free access to anything in the kitchen. And that's bad for me, because that means instead of drinking water or whatever, I'll just drink a whole bunch of soda throughout the night. I don't even know how much, but it's way more than I should be drinking, than anyone should be drinking. Like, I think that Diet Coke is actually pretty good, because it does kind of like suppress your appetite. I got one hot dog and a Diet Coke that I had for lunch one time here, and I felt full because the Diet Coke suppressed everything. If you got access to the coffee maker, make yourself tea bags like peppermint and such. The thing is, I'm not the biggest fan of tea, unfortunately, but I do have access to the tea bags. I will try to drink more water. Next time I get thirsty at work, I'm gonna drink water, not soda. I'm limiting myself to 1 or 2 sodas, and that's it. Nothing more than that. Because I have no discipline right now. I need to discipline myself. Try to hack your mind, drink seltzer water instead for the bubbles. We have seltzer here. My mom gets seltzer at the house too. And I drink that often, so I don't know how much it would help me, but I'll try. I'll try to keep that in mind. You know, my grandfather, he had to lose a lot of weight for some medication he was taking or something. And he lost weight pretty quickly. Like, within a few months, he was pretty slim. He is pretty slim. So, if he can do it, I can do it. You know, I feel like it's harder to lose weight when you're older. I just gotta get my stuff in line. What time is it right now? Here. It is 3:41 a.m. I enjoyed talking to you, Tide Pod Chef. But I probably should go to sleep. I should go home and go to sleep right now, so I don't get in trouble in the morning. But thank you for coming into chat. I've been pretty much talking to myself this whole time. Yeah. Good night, everybody.